Wow, this was one of the best movies I've seen this year, and I see why it had so much hype, and we should have seen it sooner. Out of 10 rating.
I've never been more ready in all my life.
Godzilla Minus One.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hello, fellow cave dwellers, and welcome back to episode
Number 7.
7. We are your host, Olivia Devine.
My name is Godzilla. I am a gigantic radioactive lizard that threatens Japan. Watch out for me.
Be on the lookout. Keep your radios on.
Yeah, we just saw
Godzilla Minus One, which was added to Netflix this week.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see it in the theater.
We missed that.
We missed it.
So we came back. We saw Netflix release. Probably a lot of people catching it on Netflix that didn't also like us.
Netflix is doing the classic thing where it's telling everyone that it's in the top 5 movies. Period.
Top
Just
3 in Canada right now.
Top 3 movies, and people see that and they're like, "Oh my god, it's in the top 3 movies." And it's like, yeah, well, the Jennifer Lopez movie made it there too, and that was definitely not.
Okay, I don't know what the Jennifer Lopez movie is.
Exactly.
But this is probably, unless that movie was a weirdly good movie, this is way better than that. This was just to start things off.
Start us off.
Wow, I love this movie.
Charge it up.
This movie, this movie was great. This was one of the best movies I've seen this year, and I see why it had so much hype, and we should have seen it sooner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This might be a little bit confusing because it came out in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when we say
one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah, so
sure.
Just want to let everyone know that when we say it's the best movie we've seen this year, we acknowledge that it has not come out this year. But it is a movie that we've seen this year because I know people pay attention, and we love that you pay attention.
And I'm not one for details. So.
Patrick can skip over details. Anyway, so you loved it.
What did you think?
I liked it.
You liked it. That's fair.
Yeah, I liked it.
Well, expand. What did you think?
So I think I wrote a note about this actually before we even watched it to talk about. But one of my big problems is that I have now become so used to monster movies having so much monster. And I know this isn't part of the Monsterverse, and the title is literally Godzilla Minus One. Like, I don't know if it was Godzilla Plus One, maybe, but I don't know, why was it -1?
I was thinking that myself. Like, is it to say that, like, it's not even the first movie. It's like it's like
before. No,
I don't know. That doesn't feel good. If you want to do a quick Google search, that would be great. But to me, I think to even compare this to a modern Godzilla Monsterverse movie is awful. So what do you got?
Wait, what did you just say about something about the Monsterverse?
To compare this movie to the Monsterverse, I don't know, man. I just think that is not okay. This is...
I know it's not.
I know it's like the same thing, but it's like this to me, I have never seen the original Godzilla, but this is clearly like...
No, this is different.
Very inspired by it.
Oh, definitely.
Within that sort of realm.
Definitely, and I know that. So that's why I'm saying that I fall into this pit of when I see that there's going to be a giant monster or thing in the movie, I'm just expecting to see it so much.
You're like brain off monster
it's
fighting
awful.
time.
It's awful. It's like they've ruined me.
Yeah, I do get that because my first instances of Godzilla have been the King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. That is called the Monsterverse officially?
Yeah, that's the Monsterverse.
Okay.
I've seen, I really liked Godzilla King of the Monsters. That had Hydra and Mothra. It had like all of them. And then there was the one before that, and it was really boring. And I was like, okay, no, I'm done.
As a whole, those are cool movies, but they're very just like...
They're generic.
They're just fights.
Yeah.
It's just cool fights.
And that's what my brain is expecting. And I knew going into this that that's not what I was going to get. I was going to get a little bit more substance, a little bit more character development, a little bit more story. And so that's why I think it's good.
I'll say, I think the fight scenes in this movie were better than anything we've seen.
Oh my God.
In the, I guess we're calling it Monsterverse.
It is called the Monsterverse.
Excellent. Then that's what I'll call it.
Okay, so it's Godzilla Minus One. It has multiple meanings, but it's explicitly referring to how Godzilla's destruction changed Japan's position from a post-war 0 situation to a -1.
Post-war 0.
So they were starting again at 0 after the war, but Godzilla messed them up even more, so it became -1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That is where that is from.
I know like Godzilla is a giant sort of metaphor for like the nuclear.
Let me talk.
Okay.
Let me give everyone a little bit of history here.
Ooh,
a little bit of history.
She did her research.
So I'm so sorry for how I say the Japanese names. I'm gonna say it in advance. I struggle saying names out loud when they are like Patrick Smith. But
tough name.
It is. I can read it in my head really fast, but when it has to come out of my lips, it's difficult. So I'm sorry in advance, and I'm gonna do my best. So Tomoyuki Tanaka in 1954 made the first Godzilla movie. That was the first, so in 1954. The landmark film was a sensation at the box office and sparked a spate of giant monster movies. So one thing I really like about horror, because that original movie was actually in the horror genre. Like, I don't think what we just watched, we would calculate that as the genre horror. But when Godzilla first came out, it was scary. It was black and white, and like we would watch it now and not be scared. But one thing about horror is that it tracks society's anxieties through the decades. I always want to say eras. Thank you, Taylor Swift. Through the decades. So Godzilla, a giant monster spawned from the waste of nuclear tests, obviously, is discovered in the sea and rises to threaten Japan. One thing that is interesting is that, I'm sorry, I already said that. We can just take that out of there. We'll just take that out.
Okay.
Regroup. And obviously this one goes with the nuclear warfare anxiety.
Yes.
So clearly.
Very, very
and
much.
Another thing that I find interesting about the whole Godzilla rises to threaten Japan, it doesn't feel like there's a rhyme or reason. Like, nobody really learns in this movie anyway. I've never seen the original, but you don't get Godzilla's motivations. Like in the Monsterverse movies, it's very much like Godzilla is threatened by something, or like doesn't want.
He's an apex predator.
He's an apex predator.
His space.
Yeah, and he needs his space. Or he's a cat in the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah.
But like in this movie, it's so terrifying because there's no like, is Godzilla hungry? Is Godzilla just destructive? Like, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like he only starts destroying when he is attacked. Like, purposely destroying.
Yes, certainly the first scene shows that.
Yeah.
Because he chooses not to shoot him, but then the other soldiers, or the mechanics, engineers panic and shoot him, and then he kills them.
And we can come back to that, too.
And I don't know, there was that boat that is shown.
Right, and
destroyed.
he kind of just eats it. But is that because it's in his territory?
Right.
You know, like, it's a very, obviously I know they're not the same universe or whatever, but we do get more science around Godzilla in the Monsterverse movies where, like, they're tracking Godzilla. They understand that he's territorial eventually. But in this one, there's no understanding. And that's terrifying.
Makes it better.
And it makes it better because when the bombs were dropped, the civilians didn't know. It just comes out of nowhere.
No one really knew that.
No one really knew.
Existed.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody knew that existed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the
some
higher
people
ups
did.
probably heard about it,
Yeah.
but like the civilians, it's not like they were tweeting, "Hey, just so you know that they're building nuclear bombs over there."
Yeah.
So
Not
I think
the civilians wouldn't have known. It's just like a giant flash.
I think that helps create the allegory better.
Totally. That is a great point.
Yeah, and that's what I don't know. I was just like, what is Godzilla trying to do right now?
No, this Godzilla just felt so much more scary. And I think you're right. It was a lot to do with the uncertainty of it. There was just a raw feeling in this movie when Godzilla showed up that I myself felt so helpless. And that first scene where they're in their little fishing boat.
Oh, yes.
And
that little fishing
they're
boat.
just trying to scoot away from it. And he's like just chasing them. It felt like one of those bad dreams where you're trying to get away from
and you just
something.
Can't get away.
And it's right
so
there.
Good.
It's so raw.
And the spikes are so cool.
Yes, just
His
through the
armor,
water.
spikies.
You know, other scenes where he just throws something.
Oh yeah, he's like, nope.
I think it's because
it's like a bath toy.
Yeah, it's like the rest of the world is so just normal and simple, especially because it's 1945 and they don't have all this tech.
Yeah,
that when you see a boat just flying through the air, that
Panic.
Gap in just power,
violence.
Violence.
Yeah.
It just creates a sense of raw fear.
And there was no personification of Godzilla in this one. Like, it's a monster.
It is
like capital God. It's a god.
True.
Basically.
It's just like fear.
Like, it doesn't take commands from it. It's there, and it's really strong, and it knows that, and it destroys stuff. And it knows its power. Like, it knows where it is in the chain of power.
Oh, yeah. He's the big boy for sure.
Yeah. It's like, I have a tail. I have giant, thick thighs. I don't know. And I have nuclear power. Like.
That's the other thing.
It has nuclear power.
His cannon heat wave.
Oh my God, it's
I don't know.
Cool.
To call that thing a heat wave feels like a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, Heat Wave is actually a song by who's it by again? What's that band?
Yeah, Glass Animals.
Glass Animals. Sorry. Oh my God. So it's not a heat wave. Heat wave belongs to Glass Animals.
Okay,
so.
he shoots nukes.
Yeah, he shoots nukes. And the way he powers up, oh my God. It just keep doing that. I could just watch a compilation of Godzilla powering up.
Those spikes just whoop,
whoop, whoop, whoop.
He's getting
ding,
hard.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh my God. No. He's powering. Oh my God, can't speak. I'm speaking like the child. He's powering up.
Yeah.
And that is not the same thing.
So this is the best Godzilla.
Yes.
It just is. He's just so much.
There's a lot of people who are really, really into Godzilla that I was reading about on the internet, and they obviously liked the original a lot. And there was a few who were like ranking them, and this one came number 2 for a lot of people.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So the original was often number 1, and Godzilla Minus One was 2.
I so respect that. I've never seen the original, but it's like anything that created something that has had this lasting of an impact. It's like this kind of has to be.
It's been around.
Number 1. I get that,
and it's super cool. Lizard.
Big scary lizard.
Yeah. Every time it swam, I was just picturing it doggy paddling. And Patrick was like, no, it uses its tail.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
He's like menacingly going towards him, and Liv would be like, oh, is he doggy paddling? That thought, I'd be like, no, don't put that on my head. It makes it look wimpy. Just.
I think it makes it cute. And I had to find a way to calm myself down.
Oh, did it stress you out?
Did it not stress you out?
No. Yes.
So here is a thing everyone needs to know if you don't already know this. I have a giant fear of what?
You're good.
I have a
giant... If I ever look at anything, don't worry. I'm just like, we got a screen. I'm just checking it out, making sure our recordings are good. Yeah.
I have a giant fear of T-Rexes specifically. I know that other dinosaurs are exponentially more scary, but Jurassic Park like ruined me, but also made me love giant monster movies. So this one had a couple moments where I was like, it's like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Your anxiety kind of manifests in the fear of a big dinosaur appearing.
It's true, but it's more like just feeling out of power about like having this big thing encroach on where you live and like your safety.
Right. That makes sense.
So in the beginning, I was very much like, oh my gosh, clearly if you don't shoot at it, it's not going to attack you. much like a T-Rex, if you don't move, it's not going to attack you.
Yeah, we
anyway,
love those rules, but this did
anyway,
not.
I just can't believe they didn't think of that.
This didn't follow the rules.
I know, it didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
So before we get into it more, this movie won a lot of awards in Japan.
Yeah.
It won so many awards in Japan and throughout Asia, actually. And it won the Academy Award in America for Best Visual Effects.
This might sound weird because we're a movie podcast, but is the Academy Award like the Oscars?
That's the Oscars, yeah. Nope, there's so many. I get them mixed up all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the Grammys are for, but anyway.
Sorry, it got Best Visual Effects.
Mm-hmm.
And it won over what? I remember it being a movie that we really liked.
It was.
Yeah. The graphics, the visuals in this felt very old school while still feeling. They really captured that essence of 1945.
Godzilla looked like old
Godzilla.
but new.
Better details, but it kept that kind of.
It kept that
crinkly,
robotic.
Yeah.
So someone actually mentioned like they gave it a really bad review because they were like, why did Godzilla move like that? Why, like, blah, 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 blah. And so I was waiting for that while watching it. And I was like, this person just doesn't like whimsy or film history. Clearly, that giant thing with a giant tail is not going to like run super fast.
Yeah.
And I brought that up to you. But also, it looked cool. It looked kind of robotic. It was alluding to the older movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. When we got the first sort of close up shot, I was expecting what I know Godzilla as in all these modern movies, and to just see that shot, I was like, wow, cool. That's
cool.
OG Godzilla.
Yeah, and when his face is like poking up out of the water and those little eyes. Truly, it was the little head. Like I feel like more modern movies, like the head is a lot more comparable to the rest of the body, but that little head, I was like, nice. Okay, so the other Academy Award nominees: Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I don't remember a lot of.
It's a great movie.
We'll have to watch it soon. Napoleon, our favorite movie.
Shut up, Napoleon.
The Creator, which I haven't seen, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Oh, I liked all of those except the one I don't know. The fourth one you
like
mentioned.
Napoleon? Oh my God, you heard it here first.
No.
People, Patrick like Napoleon.
No. I saw Napoleon. I saw four of the five.
If this is the first episode you're listening to,
of the five.
This is a callback. We have a large hatred for Joaquin Phoenix's Napoleon.
Not Joaquin Phoenix's.
Sorry.
Actually, yeah, I didn't like his performance.
I hated him in it too.
This is so off topic, but
I'm also glad that Mission Impossible didn't win.
I really like that movie, but I'm glad it didn't win.
We don't need it. We don't need it to win.
Yeah.
Godzilla Minus One needed to win. And I remember
that's great for them.
We were traveling and we were in America in like a better time zone. Oh, we were in Florida.
We were in Florida.
So it was just a much better time. No.
Yeah.
It was just an hour. Anyway, sorry. It's just a better time zone, and the Oscars were on in our hotel room, and we saw them win this, and I just wanted to pipe in and remember that I was so mad that, was it Takashi Yamasaki? He was giving his speech in English, and you could tell that he had to translate everything in his brain, and they like cut him off. Like they played the music.
Really?
And I remember being like, why would you not give that man more time? Why? Anyway, I don't like the Academy a lot, but I really wanted to see Ryan Gosling's performance of I'm Just Ken. So, and I did get to see it, and it tickled my fancy.
Yeah.
And I got to see this.
Award ceremonies are like...
They're just silly. Let the people vote.
Yeah.
And then Morbius would have won everything.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
We're gonna have to watch Morbius. But anyway,
yeah,
let's jump back into here. So okay. I'm gonna jump over something. After the opening scenes, our main character returns home.
He truly does.
He kind of just gets himself involved with this baby and this lady.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Oh, really?
I thought it was so unconventional, but given the circumstances, it made total sense. of just, hey, we don't really, everything kind of is destroyed and we kind of need to like help each other and look after each other. So I got this baby that's not mine. Let's just look after it together, and I'm going to live with you and help out, and you're going to get a job, and we're not dating. We're not married.
No, we put a blanket in between our
This is platonic.
Floor
we're
beds.
Just getting by.
Yeah, and I liked it. I didn't love it. Honestly, a lot of the non-Godzilla parts, I wasn't a crazy big fan of.
I will agree that section was kind of boring.
It was a little boring. There were a few moments where I was like, we don't need this.
Agreed.
As the director myself, I'm joking, but
I don't think. Yeah, I did find myself in that, like, maybe after the first 15 minutes when we're back to Japan, just being like, oh, this is kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff like that happens. I get bored in other movies too when I'm just expecting something and there's a lot of talking, and I know it was building the story and the characters, and I'm sorry I can't help how I feel about things.
Yeah, because
like those moments, I was glad I was watching it at home, because in the theater I would have been like, oh, let's roll, come on. But the moments with Godzilla, I wish I was in a theater for.
I think those moments may have been better, because of it. I think it really was kind of this flat moment. And again, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The scene when Godzilla takes on the city.
Oh my
was
God.
it Tokyo?
I have holy. I forgot to
Ginza?
write the swear word. Holy, that first scene with Godzilla and the boats. OMG, OMG. Triple exclamation marks. Oh, face. Yeah. The boat. Like he just, I feel like I know that his first scene was in the beginning, but that felt like the first scene with Godzilla.
I agree. The opening just felt like,
because it was the dark.
We got to show Godzilla off to get you hooked.
Scary monster, big feet, stomping.
Yeah, that boat scene was the first real
real Godzilla
scene.
moment. And it was so good. Oh, that was the first time we got the score, like the buildup of the music.
Yeah,
that was from the original 1954. Yes, Patrick, thank you. That's exactly how it sounds, you acapella queen.
You're so welcome, and everyone listening. If you heard that,
if you want more, sound off.
You can thank me in the comments section.
Oh my gosh.
So that
was great. And then the city scene.
Dude, that city scene just ramps it up again.
His nuke blaster. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I think I got out of my seat. I was like on my knees.
You may have got
for one of those
seat.
scenes.
That was you kind of said this, but I'm going to quote you.
Oh, I love being quoted.
That was like an Oppenheimer 2.0 nuke.
Not even Oppenheimer 2.0. I was like, this is Oppenheimer 2. Like, you actually have to watch Oppenheimer and then this movie to really get the full picture. It's like a Mad Max Furiosa kind of thing.
I love that. It's like, why did they go back and explain Oppenheimer? They didn't need to do that. I like the Godzilla movie just fine. Shut up, all you Furiosa haters. It's a good movie.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I will defend Furiosa, but that first blast cannon, heat wave, was so powerful.
That was like,
felt it.
That was really the moment where I understood why they won that award for best visual effects.
Whoa.
Like Godzilla looked great. The detail was exquisite. But that blast, it felt nuclear.
Wow, that is so true.
And I was like, dope, excellent decision making in the office that day.
Yeah, it just
superb.
Had so much weight.
Yeah, I felt it in my soul.
We were just watching it at home on a TV, and it just shattered everything because it's so far away that you're like, oh, okay. But then the blast.
Yeah, it also makes sense that it's so far away. I also like that it injures him when he does it, and he needs time to regenerate.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he has to like power up again, like in his gut or wherever it comes from. But it's like, no, actually, like he hurts himself.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no shit.
Makes sense. I like the whole system.
Something was thought about.
It.
Something they were thinking in there.
Yeah, big monkey. You lost me.
Big monkey. Yeah. So, and another thing I really liked, I'm sorry to keep comparing it to the other stuff, but this is to make this better. I find the other movies with Godzilla, it's just he breathes fire. It feels like a dragon.
It feels like a dragon.
And I'm like, that's not what Godzilla does. Like, he shoots nuclear blasts.
It feels way more nuclear.
Yeah.
He's almost like nerfed because King Kong needs to be on his level.
Needs to be on his level.
And if you're out here shooting nukes, I mean, let's be honest, it's always been Godzilla stronger than Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla's king of the monsters.
If you're comparing them, if you're making them fight each other, then you kind of need to nerf those nukes.
Yeah, you have to keep.
But this one, it just felt like we got unchecked, raw Godzilla at his full power.
Godzilla
and
was like, do.
He even seemed smaller than he is in those movies, but he felt more scary.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
I want to meet him. I could change him.
Shut up.
Yeah, one of my biggest laughs too, before we get into serious stuff, is always, this happens in like every monster movie, or like even when there's a big storm or aliens, people just like shoot guns at them. And I think it's really funny every single time. And I understand, like, if you have a gun, why would you not try it? What if it works? But it makes me laugh every single time. It's a hilarious trope. Is that even a trope?
He made the right decision when he didn't pull the trigger in his plane.
Oh, definitely.
I was like, dude,
absolutely.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like that guy, that engineer, he's scared. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that in a moment because I have one more funny thing. Not really funny thing, but when big things are happening in these movies, like the moment when Godzilla was in the city right before the nuclear explosion, people like stop running to look at what's happening. Yeah. I just cannot imagine a moment. I know that like you fight, flight, or freeze, but if you're running, you're not frozen, so you're clearly fleeing. I can't imagine my body stop running. Like I would be running and I'd turn around to see, but I would never stop.
I don't get it.
I don't, and I know it's a movie.
And maybe people do that. I don't know.
Oh God, we're so privileged.
It's like the moment you get a chance of possible relief from this thing chasing you, it's like, better stop. It happens a lot.
I know, they don't even keep walking. Oh, it just drives me crazy. And I know there's like, I want to see. And it's like, oh,
yeah. And maybe
the movie about it
almost
after.
To direct the audience's attention.
Fair enough.
Stop the people from running, because then you look more.
Because then you stop.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking where the camera's showing.
It directs the focus. I don't know. I agree. It always seems kind of silly.
Anyway, I just always think that's silly in super realistic movies like Godzilla Minus One.
I got to agree.
I just don't understand why it's not more.
Got to agree.
All right, Patrick Smith, what's next?
Should we talk about? Well,
we can talk about anything you want.
Actually, kind of bouncing off this nuclear scene of the city, in a way, to me, it felt like. Well, I guess I shouldn't say in a way, because this is very much what Godzilla is about, is
nuclear,
Japan and nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
We're in Tokyo, which wasn't bombed by. Well, it was severely bombed, but it wasn't hit with an atomic weapon.
Bomb. Yeah.
And in a way, I felt like it was like that scene was very literally kind of portraying your city has been firebombed.
Right.
Bombed. And then this is
the minus one.
Right.
Yeah.
This was what happened to Nagasaki or Hiroshima.
What would you do
if my city got nuked?
I don't know. I always ask you this.
Probably die.
Yeah, this is a boring one.
Yeah, it's awful. It's crazy though, because even people that were like
really sad,
really, really, really far away, if you were like outside, like the flash is so white that it like sunburns you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why that guy in the movie puts sunscreen on. Not this movie, Oppenheimer.
Oh.
He like puts it on his face.
Yeah. But
like,
it's
what's
like,
he doing?
It's like people that are inside like didn't get that, but it's like so hot.
And it would shatter windows too, wouldn't it? Yeah, like it would. Oh my gosh, that makes my heart hurt for everyone it's impacted.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a whole
that's a whole other can of tuna.
Whole other can of tuna. Yeah.
So sorry. All right, what's up? I have some stuff.
Alrighty.
I
What's up
always
with
have
you?
some stuff.
Pass me that water and let me know your
Well, it's
stuff.
almost empty.
That's all I need.
So there's a survivor's guilt aspect to this movie. That's one of the main themes, if not the main theme, other
Literary
than warfare. The literary
I
one.
said it from the start. I'm just
It's
here to be like, this was cool. I liked it. She's
I
like,
thought it was cool too.
no, it's great. You bring a
Okay.
depth that this podcast needs.
So
We
desperately
would crumble
needs.
without you.
So I didn't know what a is it kamikaze?
Yeah.
This is wild because there is a water slide called the kamikaze in another province. And I think that's hilarious now that it's called that because it's a scary water slide. Anyway, I didn't know what that was. So in the beginning of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, cool.
You just thought he was a fighter pilot.
Yeah, and then Pat was like, he's supposed to die. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense why he feels like poop and why that woman was mean to him when he returned home. And you know what? As the movie went on, like, he pretended that his plane was malfunctioning so he could get out of fighting. And he didn't shoot Godzilla when he was like pressured to, which I understand. But I get where his survivor guilt was coming from because they were snowballing a little bit. It was snowballing. There was a couple moments. But I'm also like, cheating death isn't really a thing because our bodies are programmed to want to survive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I didn't. Well, I mean, the kamikaze thing is very understandable.
Yeah.
Of not wanting to die, and I get that period in history, Japan was, fanatical.
Right.
It
Yes, I know it's very different than
very, very
anything I've ever experienced
yeah,
before.
intense for the country as a whole. So, despite that, I get that as an individual, you know, and all of that societal belief, there's still going to be some people that are like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, there's still going to be some people. And I'm pretty sure his mom said, come home alive.
She did.
And that would weigh on you if my mom said that to me.
Yeah. And
I'd be like, well, I got to listen to my mom, guys.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry about this country honorable code, but I got to go home. Supper's on the table.
I'm if anything, a rule
my cereal.
follower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't.
If anything, I'm a rule follower.
I understood his guilt about that, but also part of me is just in the exact same boat where I wouldn't want to do it.
But it was also like, I mean, he did chicken out from shooting Godzilla on the island.
It just felt like all the times he chickened out from dying was like, yeah, that's probably the right decision.
Yeah, and then
Especially
they just
that
started
second one.
shooting, and it's like, he wasn't even walking. Well, he actually was walking towards them.
They could have maybe just run.
Yeah,
and not
like
shot.
it was dark.
Yeah.
He's so high up. Like, the reason he squashed so many things is just because, like, I don't know, we probably squashed so many things
It's true.
when we're walking around.
I mean, Godzilla was pretty intentionally killing them, but that was because...
No, I know. Once they were attacked, once he was provoked.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that was all their fault.
Yeah.
So I especially was...
It's
like,
hard.
You should not have pulled that trigger. And
yeah.
now we know it would have done nothing.
It's true. Nothing. You could blow him up.
And then he wouldn't have
just...
saved... Tokyo. It's
true. It all connects, and that was foreshadowed with, I forget her name. The main girl, the main woman.
I kind of forget. Was it Nori?
No, Noda is my favorite, and the scientist.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Okay, cool. Well, they had a moment. Well, I'm so bad with names, even when I have subtitles. It doesn't matter what language it is. I'm just awful with names.
Yeah, I got 3 names: Noda, Koichi, and Akiko.
Nice. Akiko's the baby.
Yeah, the baby.
The baby.
The baby.
Who was such a heart in this movie. She did great.
She was so sweet. Just doing her little kid things. Like,
yeah. She's like,
great.
A war? I don't know what's going on.
She was really cute.
But I'm glad that the woman, there was a moment where she didn't feel guilty, but she was explaining to him how, she was like, my parents died in the fire, but I'm alive too. Like, she was kind of like, you're alive and I'm alive. Like, you're not the only one who came out of this alive. It was a bit of a, I feel like I'm so used to those moments being like similar to like a slap in the face, where it's a person being like, you think you're the only one going through that? Well, you're not.
Oh, that's
you know?
so
That's
like
so
you just
Western.
you just did 8 movies. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Yeah.
You did
You think you're the only one who feels like this? Well, you're not. Guess what? Other people go through hard times. She didn't do that. No, she delivered it with grace. And I liked that because you got to see different sides. And I got this sense of maybe she had felt guilty at one point, but she had moved through that and she said, you know, I'm alive now. So, you know, and then I think that triggered him to say, because he does say at one point, I want to be alive again or something like that, or I choose to live again.
Yes.
Something similar to that.
Yes, I choose to live again.
Yeah.
That was it. And that's right when Godzilla starts getting a little tingle in his tail.
Yeah. A tail tingle.
A tingle in his tail for Tokyo.
Oh, a Tokyo tail tingle.
Oh, not as fun as it sounds.
No.
Not as happy.
No.
Not as
Anything
happy.
else you want to say about that? Because I have more.
Oh, go ahead then.
There's also the aftermath of war violence aspect. Everyone is blaming him.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
And it's so much like, obviously, who's to blame is the government and the people doing the war
at the top that made this happen.
But he was right there to blame. So everyone was just blaming him. And it was not fun. I almost said fun. It was interesting to see that happen. You know, everyone's saying like, you're the reason that all these people are dead, or like, you shouldn't have come home,
like,
blah, 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 blah.
If you had just done your duty and if everyone had done their duty, that we wouldn't have got into this mess.
Yes. And it's like, you still would have been there.
Yeah.
And that's so heavy.
But it weighs on him.
It weighs on him. It weighed on me.
I thought that that sort of challenge that he faced internally was well done.
Yeah.
I thought that it was...
They didn't overdo the PTSD aspect.
It was there, but it wasn't annoying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, because there are movies that do it very well when it's a movie about that.
Sure.
And this was a movie about that, but it was Godzilla.
That's the thing, is this movie was like a good movie and Godzilla is in it.
Yeah, actually someone said that if you took Godzilla out, it would have still been a good movie.
Yeah. Whereas like,
I disagree, but
I mean, I don't know how this movie would work, but that whole him dealing with guilt, it would have been a lot more boring.
Yeah.
But I think
it's a real important
these modern
topic.
Godzilla movies we are putting Godzilla in it, and then we're going to build a plot around that.
Yeah.
Where this is a plot on its own.
And Godzilla
is the focal point of it.
Helping to augment the plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's still substance without Godzilla.
And that's actually his real motivation, people. We figured it out. He was mad it wasn't about him.
Is it the Bechdel test, but for Godzilla?
Oh my God. This movie did not pass that test. Actually, no, it didn't. Because 2 women have to talk to each other in the movie.
Those 2 women do. Is there a scene that those 2 women talk about the little girl?
Okay,
there is a chance.
There's a chance, but that's just one of the 6 that has to happen or something like that.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah, 1945 war movie.
Yeah.
It's, it's
it's okay. We'll let it pass.
All the boxes. Godzilla could be a woman.
No. Not with those thighs. Just kidding. I also found it. What?
I said, what else you got?
That beer gut.
What'd you think of
that little head? Sorry,
our 4 dudes.
My gosh,
the crew of boatmen.
Oh man. Okay, right before this happens, I do have to say one more thing about the aftermath of war violence aspect. It broke my heart so much when they were all in that room together right after Noda showed them his idea and that like giant balloon thing erupted. And just the regular civilian was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, we get the brunt of it, and we being like regular civilians. And I was like, that is a shame, because war, I've not been desensitized to it like some video game people have. And it makes me immediately like just bawl my eyes out. And I don't know. I just want to take this moment to say that nobody wins in a war.
No.
Nobody does.
True.
And I know that war goes back longer than I can know, and you know more about it. But I'm very anti-war, and it hurts just the citizens of society the most. Just the regular Joes walking down the street.
Yeah.
It hurts everybody. Not everybody, I guess, but it hurts people on both sides, no matter what, physically, mentally, emotionally. And this moment was a real big moment in the movie where I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so much more than Godzilla.
I think it captured that really well.
It was just a guy being like, I just want to go home to my family. Like, I'm done.
Fight anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Understandable.
Okay, anyway.
Our boys.
Okay, so I had a thought during it that I didn't write down, because I said if I really loved it, I would remember it, and I do. If this were a monkey movie, Noda, the scientist, would have been an orangutan.
Nice.
I thought that with his epic hair, and I was like, okay, orangutan.
I like this little squad we have.
Yeah,
They like start on their boat, and just seeing them shooting
the ragtag crew
on their little wooden
shooting
dinghy.
lines. Haha, sorry.
I really liked what they had going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as it progressed, there's a scene I really liked where they are out drinking. And
you did.
It appears like a cafe, but there's just no walls.
Yeah.
It's like there's a bar and there's stuff behind it, and it seems to be like some sort of kitchen, and there's seats where exactly like a restaurant.
Yeah, less walls.
But the walls are just gone.
Less separation from the different parts. Like, the workers aren't separated from the people.
From outside.
And from outside.
That's what I mean. It's
Gotcha.
There's just no walls.
Right. There was a
to
back
the
wall.
outside. There is one back wall.
Right.
And it's just exposed.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was crazy, though, just how normal that was. They're just sitting there. We're in war-torn, awful place. Yeah. This is all we got. Like,
and they're just having a moment together.
That was, I don't know. It just, the way that was shown, I just thought was really cool.
Yeah, you really liked that part, and I liked that.
I don't know. Just I was like, oh my god, they that's not a. I wouldn't want to eat there. I wouldn't. If you showed up to that, you would be like, what the?
I would be like, what happened to the walls? And if they said there was never any walls, I would have an open mind. Because I'm not used to not having walls. But wait, maybe we do need to break down some of our walls.
Yeah. Let's talk about Noda, because you really liked him.
Yep.
I was so pumped when I heard him come up with this plan. I also thought that the whole diagram he gave, not only for us was it nice, because we needed to see, oh, this is believable.
And it was simple.
I loved how it was showing these people in the room of I can't just tell you this. I got to have a diorama, a little exhibit to
3D
show
presentation.
To show you guys.
Yeah, with a little wooden figurine.
So I really like that. And I love when characters are genuinely smart.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this guy is introduced as the one of the top dudes of the Navy.
Can we just be a little more specific? Scientist dude.
Scientist dude is introduced as the top person in the Navy science department. And
oh boy,
that actually goes somewhere where he doesn't just come up with all right, guys, we're gonna get a really big gun.
Yeah, it was nice that it was Bubbles.
It was so smart.
Yeah, we're gonna kill him by implosion, which is a very big theme this year. Because of the submarine, the Titanic guys.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Too soon?
I don't know.
Never.
I saw a graph that was like total, like annual Titanic deaths, and it's like one really big spike the year the Titanic sunk, and then it's just nothing. And then there's just a little blip. I was like, wow, that's damn, dude.
I think that's so funny. But yeah, I love that he was like, we got some Freon bubbles, and that's what we're gonna use.
Yeah.
Freon?
I think it's Freon, but it's okay.
Sorry.
That was really cool. They've got the big, wacky, waving, flailing, inflatable tube mans.
And it was like, just like a balloon mattress, even though Godzilla clawed through it or bit through it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, duh.
The fact that actually got to, like, I kind of thought that plan wasn't going to work. We knew that wasn't going to kill it. My fear was that they weren't even going to show it. I was like, guys, I really want to see the man go down.
We need to see it underwater. I liked that it worked a little bit because there was a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did damage him a little bit.
Yeah. I love that he can regenerate.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
That is really neat.
Just come on, immortality. And the ending when he's like bubbling back up.
Oh, we're getting to there. We're getting to the ending.
Sorry. So jump around.
He gets blown up. The man drives.
Spoilers, Patrick.
He drives his plane into Godzilla's face.
And he crunches.
Godzilla blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shrivels down to the ground.
He does.
Shrivels down to the ground. He's floating in the ocean. I don't even want to ask about how Godzilla just kind of stands in the water. I'm assuming his tail is treading for him. Because he really just looks like he's standing there.
I just thought he could touch the bottom.
No, because that was in the section where he went all the way down. That was.
Yep, it's his tail. It's his tail.
We're just going to tell ourselves
it's his tail.
Anyway, seeing him like down to the bottom, is that like just kind of a callback? Or is that there's going to be another one?
Oh, I don't know. I always love when movies just never make another one.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I have like a love-hate relationship with it because when I really like movies, I get so excited for another one.
Like Pacific Rim.
Shout out to Hunger Games. But I also really love when movies just stop. Yeah. Like when they're really, really good and they're like, why don't we just not
call it?
Yeah.
We'll just make something new.
Yeah. But I think it's great because it's like it is an immortal monster.
There's definitely a theme of lots of reboots and all that. I mean, that's been going on for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I guess this is kind of a reboot, but it feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
It's a reboot, but it also, like, the first one happens in, I think it didn't take place at the same time.
Right.
Like, this one was a little bit different in that they also added to the score in this one, so they pulled from the original score and added to it, which the score was really good. I thought it added a lot. And I also love, I don't know, Godzilla looked old, and I love when movies fade in and out into scenes.
Yeah, you've said
that.
Like,
I don't want smart, just go to the next scene. Don't fart around.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I really like that.
Cool. Do you have anything else?
No.
Because that's like kind of like, overall, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, and
I just
probably
really
liked
like
the war about it.
I do.
Yeah.
I
like love
that.
War.
Well, I wouldn't say I love war, but I find the circumstances really interesting, and
it's true.
But specifically like World War II, and I think it's because it's removed enough, but
aren't
not
we lucky?
So. Yeah, it's like removed from it, but not entirely. Like we have, there are people around us that.
Yeah.
There are,
What about wars happening now? Are you interested in those?
It's very different because there's such a connectedness to it.
Which is why we should know more about them.
Totally.
Anyway.
Yeah. So.
Shall we go to reviews?
Sure. Yeah.
I guess about war?
I was just going to say the entirety of that kind of thing that happened. It fascinates me. So So I do know a lot about it, and I think knowing about it kind of made this movie probably more interesting for me.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about World War I, and I thought Wonder Woman rocked.
You don't need to know.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Get those reviews.
It got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoa.
Which is pretty freaking high.
Damn, they gave it a 9.8.
Yep.
Wow.
The most liked review from IMDb is from Drus44121-1.
Okay.
And this reviewer says, I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. I think the original from 1954 is a genuine classic and a great film, not just a great monster movie. This one might be even better. You actually care about the characters, and it deals with some very serious topics, yet the film is also exciting and optimistic, had a happy ending, with the family, and has some of the best Godzilla sequences ever put to screen. Which,
agreed.
yeah.
Also, I was not expecting her to be alive.
No, I was annoyed. Sorry.
His wife.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
But I'm happy for them.
Me
and
too.
I'm really happy for the kid.
Yes.
Like, so happy. My favorite depiction of Godzilla is as a force of nature, representing the power of the atomic bomb or the fury of war itself.
Yeah.
That's the Godzilla you get here.
Yeah.
Totally.
I completely agree. I don't want this. Like, I like seeing Godzilla in the Roman Coliseum. It's funny.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's funny. It's not supposed to be funny.
Exactly.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Force of
Great
nature.
Yeah.
Like, human inventions can't kill him. Like, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I give one?
Oh, one sec. There's one more sentence.
Okay.
I think this film can very favorably be compared to American classics like Jaws and Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
And I mean, when he's chasing the boat, I'm like, dun-na,
Yeah.
dun-na,
A little bit of both
dun-na,
for you.
dun-na-na-na-na-na.
Most Godzillas. Heck yeah. Kick his ass. Some Godzillas. His existence is a tragedy, so we must weep for him. This one. Kill that mother effer. He killed all our friends.
Lizard. That's funny. Eric Kane from Forbes says, I have longer ones for this because we don't read the funny ones until last, silly.
Well, I did.
You're breaking? Just kidding. I don't care. Okay. Actually, I was excited to bring this up. It's a shockingly low budget Japanese film. That's easily the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, it's a low budget.
So when I read that, I was like, okay, I don't know budget well. So I looked it up to have stuff to compare it to. So to compare, 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong cost somewhere between $155 and $200 million to make. So think about that. The upcoming, so this was a while, like before Godzilla vs. Kong. The upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong, The New Empire, will cost over $200 million. This one had a budget of $15 million.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you were gonna say like 100.
Nope. $50 million US dollars.
How?
And I'm still not sure how they pulled it off. That's what the guy said.
How? It's so good.
I have no idea.
And it's
maybe
not like they're just sitting in a room the whole time.
Yeah.
There's like airplanes and boats and.
So he says it turns out that a well-written script with complex characters you actually care about and a $15 million budget is a whole lot more effective than a $200 million movie with bad writing and generic one-dimensional characters you forget about the moment you leave the theater. Yeah. So
Dude,
what did he also say? I didn't include it in this, but it was really interesting. Oh, mention of the actors and actresses. So it's also like the movies in America are paying millions of dollars for these big names to be in their movies, which adds so much money to the budget.
Yeah.
But it's like there are amazing actors who don't cost $100 million.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I think it was $10 million that someone cost, but like, just
that's okay. I often forget, but actors want a lot of money.
Who's the guy that is voicing Garfield? Chris.
No.
He was Star-Lord.
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt doesn't have to be in everything.
It's true.
You could find a rugged man to be in Jurassic World.
Oh,
anywhere.
I love it when they get an actor that I don't know because then I don't have any attachment of this person and as being someone else.
Yeah.
So.
And it annoys. I mean, I love seeing a star-casted movie. I really do, like Ocean's 8 with the girls. Ocean's 8 was really fun. But it's also like a cop-out sometimes, I find.
It's just like, well, we have big actors.
Yeah, it's like when they said Dua Lipa was in...
Oh, that stupid spy movie.
What was it called?
That came out in 2024.
It had a
Argyle.
cat. Argyle. Wasn't Dua Lipa in it for like 2 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah,
She's
and they were like,
in
and
it for
Dua
like
Lipa.
the first 1.5 minutes of the movie. And then it's like, oh, this isn't actually part of the movie, I wanted to leave. I was like, this is so stupid. And John Cena's not really in it either.
Yeah, they use John Cena so much.
He is kind of part of it, but
he's funny.
Man, that is one of the, like, I almost hated that movie, but that's another story.
That is another story.
Anyway,
but yeah, it does feel like a cop-out sometimes. It feels like that's what gets people in the seats. And I'm like, that's just annoying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, maybe just make a good movie.
Unless it's the Knives Out franchise. That has a...
Knives Out is great.
Yeah, because they're doing it on... It's for a purpose.
Movie.
Yeah.
Make a good movie. You got anything else?
I do. Also... Wait, was that top one? Oh,
Ooh.
Another person from Forbes. Leslie Felperin. This is not a cuddly version of Godzilla. He is rageful and entirely incomprehensible, seemingly not even motivated by hunger, desire, or revenge. Like a god, he just is. An entity that has become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Ooh,
as ineluctable as history itself.
Nice.
So you can't escape him.
Nice.
Yeah, which
love that.
I'm obsessed with it.
Destroyer of worlds.
The destroyer of worlds. He could.
He is.
And the nuclear bomb could.
Yeah, well, that's what Oppenheimer says, right? When he makes the bomb.
Good thing you're here.
Yeah, he quotes the Bhagavad Gita.
Cool.
I'm saying that wrong. And the line
good.
is like, I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Whoa. Okay, I see the connection now. Wow, I'm glad I pulled that quote. I just thought it sounded cool.
I'm here for something, man.
He's good for some stuff.
Yeah.
I also want to say before we jump into like kind of funnier ones, I did look up ones that like hated it. Because I was like, okay, like we want to see people that hate it. Most of it was just people saying that they were bored. Some people said they fell asleep. And the rest were like, I've also like seen, I just can't quote them because they were borderline racist.
Okay.
It was a lot.
We don't need to give them energy.
Yeah,
don't even need to.
I do need to say one. Someone had the audacity to say Japan just doesn't get Godzilla, like doesn't understand, and I was like, this has to be a 12-year-old on the internet. There's no, and it was probably like a 32-year-old person or something.
Yeah,
like fully developed frontal cortex. They just don't get him, guys.
That's tough.
They don't get Godzilla.
Dude, that's tough. I had a comment on my video recently.
Which video?
My Smith Plays Pokemon channel.
I was like, ours? I read them.
We created this thing, and then another channel used it, like, and that was cool, and they credited us, and they're like, yo, shout out to Smith Plays and team for making this. And then someone commented on our video, I can't believe you copied that guy. So that just reminded me of that.
My God.
The internet, this is the internet, though, so it's just life, but it's, yeah.
It's just, you're stupid.
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
Talk less, think more.
Just shut. Before you press enter, think about it.
Just don't. If we all stop, we can end this.
No, I like the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Anyway.
Hit me with something funny. Get me some laughy laughs. Some hoo-hoo ha-has.
This is reviewed by Julia.
Okay.
She gave it 4 stars. Scientists with a perm operating outside their chosen field. Truly the backbone of the monster movie. I thought that was funny because I like it.
You did have nice hair. Yeah.
You did. I liked it.
Never thought about that, but...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this one's funny. I didn't even... Okay, so I added this before we watched the movie, but we talked about... Well, I'll read it first, and then you'll know what I mean. So this is by Penny Vonk Nolan, 4.5 stars. Bro got depressed. Bro got hope. Bro got depressed again and unlocked anime Scream. Bro got unlogical plot twist in the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, the anime Scream, like when he's like on the...
He's asking for Mr. Tab... I can't not remember the engineer's name.
Tabichana?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Dude, that was such an...
Yeah,
because I watch anime,
like,
and
man.
you sometimes watch anime as I'm watching anime next to me, just because you're in the room.
Well, I've watched anime. Attack on Titan's anime.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. And that moment where he like slams down and starts screaming was so right out of anime, and you're like, it's just Japan that's like that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, perhaps that is their mannerisms, and I am an imbecile.
Yeah, because I mean, really, the main sort of media that I consume from Japan, other than Pokemon, would be anime.
Yeah, and Godzilla now.
And Godzilla.
I am just an uncultured swine.
No, it's okay. You're just not a weeb.
Wait, where'd Squid Game come from?
That was Korean.
Gotta take that out then.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. You didn't know. It's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God, this one's really, really funny. These last two, I love these. They made me crack up. Okay, so this is from Daniel Kibblesmith. Great name. 5 stars. I tapped the green stars on Letterboxd one by one like dorsal ridges charging up.
Dorsal ridges.
Ding, ding.
That's a banging comment.
So funny. So funny. Thank you, Daniel.
That's great.
And the film Drunk, who has given it 4 stars, said the atomic breath scene had my whole ass vibrating in the seat.
Damn, that would have felt good.
Do you need an ass massage? May I recommend Godzilla Minus One?
I would love that Godzilla ass massage.
Oh my God.
Give me that nuclear breath ass massage, please.
My God.
2 tickets. One for me.
Those
one
are
for
all
them.
mine.
That's
what do
it?
you have?
Dude, you covered everything. I'm just ready to get to this rating because I'm feeling hot about this one.
He's feeling hot.
I got some heat breath for a review, for a rating.
Oh my gosh. Okay, spill it.
Are you ready for my out of 10 rating?
I've never been more ready in all my life.
Godzilla Minus One. Absolute banger movie. The fact that they did it with 15 million is even more impressive.
True, that changes mine actually.
It is just such a well-told movie. Everything about it is cohesive. It's got some slow points, but it is there for a very important reason, to add weight and meaning for everything.
Mm-hmm.
The scenes are great. Godzilla is scary. My final rating is a 9.5.
Holy, you love this movie.
It was banging.
Patrick is so quiet when he loves stuff.
I just
sitting in our living room, I would never in my life imagine he liked it that much. Like when I like a movie, everybody
so
knows.
Animated.
Everybody knows. I'm rocking in my seat. I'm vibrating like that man's ass, but in my whole body, like just going nuts.
And I'm just
and Patrick is just stoic.
Lock in.
My lock-in exudes energy. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I like movies with big monsters, and the budget thing makes me change it, even though I have no concept of that much money.
It's just like you did so much better with like a tenth of the money. It almost just makes me hate
that helps
big
me.
Hollywood.
It does. It's going to make me look at stuff differently now.
You guys suck.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah. It's also like Furiosa, like what they did with the time frame they did it in. And everyone's like, how did they do that so quick? Makes me change my mind about other movies. But people are still learning, so we have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I feel like my whole movie rating system, like
I don't have a system.
I need to like drop like all my movies like by 0.5. Except for this one.
I'm gonna give it a 7.1.
I respect it.
It was better than average.
Yep.
I
didn't think you were gonna have a super high rating on it, so that's okay.
No. And I don't know, like, that might seem too high. I have some friends who are quite critical of how high things are.
Well, you shouldn't listen to what your friends think. Just how do you feel? I'm just going off 5s. And the thing is, like, 5, I guess, is an average movie, but I really like movies.
It's true. It's
you know
true.
what I mean?
And we get to pick.
It is our podcast.
Like,
and
I get to pick. I'm not going to pick a movie I really don't want to see.
We're not professional critics. We just want to have fun.
It's true.
7.1. Have a bad time. 7.1. There it is. 9.5.
7.1.
Cool. All right. That's it.
Thank you for making it to the end. Thank you for watching. We are available on every place you get your podcast. The link tree will be in our bio.
If you made it here, comment Credit Gang. If you're listening to this, comment. Because I think like 4 people are going to make it this far.
Credit Gang?
You made it to the credits. Like a
Oh, I understand.
credits.
I thought you meant like credit card.
No, you made it to the credits.
Or just say ILY.
IOI.
ILY. Like I love you.
Okay, say IOI.
Illy, I love you. Because we love you.
Because we love you. Okay, bye.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye. Everyone, bye. Everyone, bye. Everyone, bye. Everyone, bye. Everyone, bye.